Kinosaki Onsen is a hot spring town you can get to on the train from Osaka and Kyoto. It's such a charming town with historic buildings around a canal. It's amazingly beautiful. Everything's within walking distance, and if you stay at any of the ryokan, you get a pass to visit all 7 public bathhouses. And unlike most onsen in Japan, tattoos are allowed everywhere. Honestly, I think this is the best onsen town in Japan, and I hope in today's video I can show you why. I'll show you how to get there from Osaka and Kyoto and what the train ride's like. We'll take a walk around the town, trying some street food and cafes. We'll go up a ropeway for a beautiful view of the area and take an evening walk. It's even more charming at night time. There's a separate video coming up all about the ryokan I stayed at, the traditional Japanese hotel, and the amazing dinner we had there, so subscribe if you want to see that. And if you want a video about tips for visiting an onsen and what it's like for a first timer, let me know in the comments. To get to Kinosaki, we took the Kounotori train from Shin Osaka Station. Kounotori means stork, which is a local bird in that region. Let's take a moment to enjoy the cute tune that played in the station when the train arrived. It's really quiet on the train, so I hope you can hear me okay. This is a really cool looking train. When it came into the station, I just loved how the front looked. I like how it has little doors on the front. I wonder what's inside them. And I think it's going to be a really scenic journey. There's really big windows on the train. I'm looking forward to seeing all the landscape as we go past. We're in the green car, which is like first class. There's the green car and the standard car. It's very comfortable with lots of legroom. The seats are arranged in a 2 and a 1, so if you're travelling solo, you get a seat all to yourself. Just like on the Shinkansen, there's a space behind the end seats to put your luggage. There's also overhead luggage racks, and the seats are quite spacious. I'd reserved the seats at a ticket machine when I arrived in Japan. There's a video on my channel that walks you through that process. The seat was very convenient, with fold-out cup holders and tables, and a hook for your bag or coat. Here's a standard car. As with every trip I've taken in the green car was less crowded than the standard car. It's a long trip, 2 hours 40 minutes, and they don't have anything like a buffet car or a trolley service on this train, so you need to get snacks before you get on. We picked up our breakfast from a little supermarket style shop in Shin Osaka Station. There weren't that great food options there. There were a lot of omiyage souvenir shops, but not many food shops. So I've got a smoothie, a yuzu lemon drink, and a melon pan, but Phil's is not here. They must have forgot to pack it in the bag at the shop. No breakfast for you, Phil.
No breakfast for you, Amy.
Oh. But it does have a strawberry yogurt drink. Oh, and you went for yuzu lemon as well.
I do have some snacks in my bag, but I'm not sure chocolate for breakfast is the best thing. That's just what it's going to have to be.
If you pick your times right, you can take a direct train all the way there. The journey from Osaka or Kyoto takes about 2 hours 40 minutes, which might sound long, but the journey's scenic, so it does go quite quickly. I kept myself amused just looking out the window the whole time. There is another train you can take from Osaka called the Hamakaze. The reason I picked the Kounotori is because it has a green car, and I had a green car JR pass that I wanted to make the most of. I'd recommend checking the train times on an app like Japan Travel by Navitime and choosing a time that works for you. That one also has a filter, so you can just see trains covered by various rail passes. You can also get to Kinosaki from Kyoto and Kobe. After our stay there, we took the train directly to Kyoto. Both lines from Osaka and Kyoto are run by Japan Railways, so they're covered by the JR Pass. They're also covered by various regional passes from JR West that might save you money if you're not getting the JR Pass for the whole of Japan. Otherwise, the train costs 6,340 yen per person each way. To Kyoto, it's 5,570 yen each way. That train isn't the Kounotori, it's just called the Kinosaki Limited Express. It's interesting having a glimpse into rural Japan and everyday life in smaller towns as you zoom past all the houses and fields. Out here, it's nothing like Osaka or Tokyo. One of the towns en route has a dinosaur museum, and we spotted several dinosaur decorations from the train. I love how Japan celebrates what's local to each area. As the journey draws on, you start travelling alongside a river which flows all the way out to sea and right by Kinosaki. I really enjoyed looking at all this scenery: valleys, fields, houses, and always lots of small mountains. When you get to Toyoka, you know you're almost there. The river widens as it gets closer to the sea. You can actually cycle around this area if you have enough time there. And here we are, Kinosaki Onsen station. The journey really didn't seem that long. I really enjoyed it. I found a stamp at Kinosaki Onsen station. This is quite subtle outside the station. These wooden sculptures are like crab claws and the two chairs are like eyes. Crabs are a local speciality in Kinosaki. You see them everywhere. My second name is Crabtree, so that's why I was obsessed with this. Most of the ryokan serve crab in their kaiseki dinners during crab season, which is the winter, November to March. There's also a Crab Kingdom festival in March and a crab shouting tournament where everyone shouts "Kani-san, arigato," thank you crabs, and whoever's the loudest wins a crab. If you're staying in Kinosaki, there's a free bus service to take you to your ryokan from just outside the station. We dropped off our suitcases, and as it was before check-in time, we took a walk around the town and to get snacks. And there are plenty of places for that. Phil's got a beef croquette, a gyu korokke. Tajima beef is a local speciality here.
This was 200 yen, pretty good.
That is pretty cheap. They had crab croquettes as well. Looks like it's got potato in as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty tasty.
Oh.
I'll eat some more.
I wish they had pumpkin karaoke.
Yeah.
Right by the station, there's a little fountain with onsen drinking water. I wonder if it's warm. Oh yeah, really warm.
It's a bit salty.
Salty? Oh. And over there right by the station is Sato no Yuba. What's the application form for?
Japanese poem postcards.
You post a poem?
I'm not sure.
I spotted a stamp outside one of the bathhouses, Ichi no Yu. There's a mini one as well.
There's 3.
3? How am I going to fit all these on? We might need 2 pages for this. Or it's a big one. Let's do the little one. I think it says Ichi no Yu. Oh, that one's not very inky. Oh well. We stopped off at this cute little cafe for a bite to eat. I didn't know which drink to get because there's lots that look nice. They've got amazake, yuzu chai, yuzu soda, ume juice. Here's our sandwiches. We got a lot. I didn't realise it'd be so big. There's my Coke float. Is that yuzu?
Yuzu soda. This is crab, which is the speciality.
Yeah, you've got to try the local food. There's lots of street food around here, but not that much vegetarian stuff. So we just stopped off in this little cafe for some sandwiches. I was thinking, as I was just having an egg sando, I might as well just go to the convenience store. But this was a lot nicer. And Phil tried crab.
Yes, that was delicious. Really, really nice. It was quite expensive. I think crab is around here because it's kind of the speciality. But yeah, absolutely delicious. And a lot of sandwich. It was, I wasn't expecting that much. Everywhere in Kinosaki is absolutely gorgeous with old wooden buildings. It's a very vibrant little town with lots of little shops, street food and cafes. It's about 2 p.m. on a Tuesday in the first week of March, and it's actually quite busy. There's quite a lot of people just milling around. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it's going to be different in the evening, if it's going to be a bit quieter or if that atmosphere is going to be different. There's so many pretty little places. It's such a lovely town. This is the famous view of Kinosaki around the canal, and in real life it was just as lovely as I expected. I think at other times of the year it looks even more pretty here when there's leaves on the trees, and I think they're about to burst out into cherry blossoms. Oh, these aren't cherry blossom trees, they're weeping willows.
But I think this is probably one of the worst times of year to see this, and it is still really beautiful. There's some fish. They're really big.
Tiny.
Oh yeah, the tinies.
Not a tiny little fish. See the koi.
Oh yeah, there's some more up there. That's so nice. Everywhere in Kinosaki is walkable, which makes it a really pleasant place to stay. It's quite a small town, but there's still enough to keep you occupied for a day or two. There are 7 public bathhouses around the town. Public bath just means a bath that anyone can pay to use, whereas the baths in the ryokan are just for hotel guests. Each bathhouse has its own style and character. You can buy a pass for all of them for 1,500 yen, or if you stay at any of the ryokan in town, you get a pass for free, as well as being able to use the bath at your ryokan. And as I mentioned, tattoos are allowed at all the bathhouses and ryokan in Kinosaki, which is very unusual in Japan. This is the street that our ryokan's in. All the streets look pretty. As I mentioned, there'll be a separate video coming up all about the ryokan. This is Gosho no Yu, one of the bathhouses. It's got its own pond at the front, and most importantly, it's got a stamp. This one's got 3 stamps as well. I've still got quite a lot of space in the book. Should I fit 2 on there? Maybe. Oh, they need a bit more ink. Gosh, I know you. Squeeze on there.
Oh no.
Oh, it didn't come out the best.
I think a page per stamp next time.
Yeah. Now it's not quite check-in time for our ryokan yet, so we're going to go up there and go up the ropeway. You can see it in the distance. I'm not sure what this place is, but they've got a very nice garden. It looks nice out the front as well.
Like the tree branch forming entrance way.
Oh yeah. Here's my mailbox. So my second name is Crabtree, so that's why the crabs have special significance. And there are a lot of crabs around Kounosaki. All the buildings are so old and nice. Look at the sign on this one. Most of these buildings are ryokan, and many of them are true historic properties. The top luxury ryokan in Kinosaki is down this street. It's called Nishimuraya Honkan. It's very pricey, but apparently it's worth it. The garden looks beautiful. I'm guessing this is a ryokan as well. Look at the top floor of the building, it looks so old, really historic. That's on the same street as our ryokan. I don't know if you can see on the camera, there's steam coming off this water coming out here. It must be hot spring water. That's so strange to see that just coming out in the wild. This is motoyu, which means original water, and it's the source of the hot spring water. There's so much steam coming off this, I can feel the warmth. It's going to steam up the camera lens, I think.
81 degrees C.
81 degrees, that's so hot. You can feel the warmth.
I guess that's why you can cook an egg in it.
But the onsen water is 40 degrees, so they must cool it down slightly. And there in the background is Kounotori, which is the bathhouse that's the furthest away from the station. That one's supposed to be a bit quieter. Here's the entrance to the ropeway, and they provide walking sticks to help you get up the stairs, I guess. So here's the ropeway timetable. You can either do a round trip to the middle station where Onsenji, the temple, is, or all the way to the top, or get a ticket for a short walk.
There's one leaving in 5 minutes.
Oh, we better be quick. It is quite a lot of steps on the way up. There's a crab on the ropeway. We got a round trip ticket for 910 yen. The ropeway's closed on the 2nd and 4th Thursday of the month, but check that just in case it changes in future. Even at the start of March, before peak season, the car was quite crowded. The ropeway takes you up to see a great view of Kinosaki, the river and the mountains. There's also Onsenji, the temple, and you can go hiking. Here's the view from the top of the ropeway, and you can see where the ropeway comes up, and you can just see the canal through the middle of Kinosaki, and I guess that's our street with our ryokan. We can see the whole of Kinosaki from up here. This view has a Michelin star in the Green Guide, and the town of Kinosaki has 2 stars. We're going to try the throwing challenge. It looks really difficult, but we're going to give it a go. I've got my throwing dishes. There's probably a better name for them. So you get 3 goes for 250 yen. You throw them to get rid of your bad luck. And if you get one through the hole, through the target, your wish may come true. And they've each got a different design on them, so you have to throw the top one first, then the second one, then the third one. Do you think we'll be able to do it, Phil? I'm terrible at throwing things.
A really small target.
Here it is, and there's the target in red. It's very small and quite far away. Here's the first one, the second one, and the third one.
Amy up first.
Yes, I'm terrible at throwing, so the chances of me getting any of these through the target is minimal. Let's see how it goes.
Go on, I have faith you can do it.
I'm going to throw away my bad luck at least. You can see all the broken ones. People didn't throw them far enough by the look of it.
I think some might have bounced off, maybe.
Maybe. I think that's making me think you need to throw them quite hard.
Oh, we'll find out, won't we?
This is going to go nowhere near. Do you think frisbee style is the best way?
I don't know, you could go underarm if you want a bit more control. That went down.
Oh dear, that was not the way to do it. I told you I'm bad at throwing things.
You didn't let go.
Okay, I'm going to go more this angle. We ready?
Good luck.
Oh, way off.
Rotate a bit more this way.
Throwing away the bad luck.
Ready?
Oh. That was worse than I expected.
No wishes for you.
Don't laugh, Phil, you haven't tried it yet.
Maybe the camera will break.
Okay, you ready, Phil? Throw away your bad luck. Not bad.
In the right direction.
Yeah. It was in the general region.
I don't want to throw too hard, I feel like I'm going to lose my balance and fall.
You won't fall off.
I'm going to get a better stance.
Do you want me to hold you on the back?
No, it's good, it's good. Ready?
Go on.
And bad luck.
Ah, not bad. A bit higher.
Higher and more power. Ready?
Go on.
Oh,
Ah, it's hard.
it's hard.
So you're throwing away your bad luck, so now your bakery items won't get missed out of the bag anymore. You won't have the slider closed before you can go up it.
Nothing else bad can happen.
I think the view is too distracting.
What were you worried about when throwing it, Amy?
Well, before we attempted to throw them, I thought, you're throwing them towards all the people in the town. It could be a bit dangerous.
And where's the town? It's a little bit further than we threw.
I don't think they're in any danger over there. They're perfectly safe. There's a nice area to sit out here. It's really peaceful, and there's a cafe where you can get some drinks and snacks if you want and enjoy the beautiful view of Kounosaki. You can see the whole town. If you want to, from up here, you can go on a walk. You can even walk to another mountain top, which takes an hour and a half. Or you can walk down to the middle station with Osenji, and you can also walk from Osenji to the bottom as well. We took the ropeway down to the middle stop, Onsenji, the temple. Caution, falling snow, not today. Although the week before we left in February, the beach here was covered in snow and it was snowing here. And the snowplow's still out. It's nice how the colour of the wood blends into all the woodland around it. It feels very natural. Look at the detail underneath the roof. You can walk down from this middle station with Osenji. That's the way, I think. It's 500 steps. Be quite a workout. You'd have earned your onsen bath after that. We're doing well for stamps around Kinosaki. There's one here at the ropeway. I like the two colour effect on the ink. That's nice. You can fit this one on as well. You used to have to visit Onsenji before you went to any of the bathhouses here in Kinosaki. So first you'd visit the temple and pray there, and you'd be given a special ladle which would be your admission ticket to the bathhouses. These days they give you one if you stay at the ryokan, and I think it's got a barcode on it rather than being a ladle, or you can just buy one. Also, I guess in the olden days before the ropeway was built, to get to the temple you'd have to walk up 500 steps, which really shows your dedication. Next we checked into the ryokan, changed into our yukata, went to the bath and enjoyed a fantastic meal. All of that will be in the next video. We've just had our giant ryokan dinner and now we're out for a walk. I'm looking forward to seeing how it looks around here at night time. I think it'll be really pretty. They say that in some onsen towns, the ryokan provide everything so that once you check in, you don't leave the building. However, at Kinosaki, they encourage people to walk around the town, stroll around in your yukata and visit the public baths, and it keeps the town vibrant. And it really shows. I did notice that when I was choosing where to stay. I looked at some other onsen towns that looked nice at first, but on Google Street View the streets looked a bit concretey and nowhere near as pretty as this. Everywhere you look is like a photograph. It's not just one section, the whole town's like this. You can hear everyone in their wooden sandals going clip clop clip clop. It does slow you down a bit, but it makes us walk around at a relaxed pace, unlike usual when we're rushing around everywhere.
Why aren't you wearing wooden sandals?
For speed and efficiency, so we can power along.
Is that really the reason?
I thought the wooden ones looked pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah, so did I.
There's a projection on the water. KINOSAKI. You can see the baby fishes in it.
Oh yeah.
Imagine if one of the big ones came through.
Well, that's a bat. Just going to keep holding it here in case it comes past again. No bat today.
I spotted a stamp at Yanagi-yu by the romantic light of the vending machine. Let's do the stamp. Oh, they're not very inky round here. They need to get some new stamp pads. I think we'll get all the bathhouses. We've got 3 of them so far out of 7.
Isn't one of them closed tomorrow?
Oh yeah, so we might not be able to get all of them. There's a foot bath here just outside Yanagi-yu. There's a few of them around the town, so you don't even need a ticket. Anyone could come along, have a quick foot bath. Look how the water's steaming. So there are 7 bathhouses around Kinosaki, and each day one of them is closed, a different one each day. So if you come for a day trip, you wouldn't be able to do all 7, but if you stay overnight, you would do. You just need to check which one is closed which day. And they're open quite a long time. They're open quite late. A lot of them seem to be open till 11 p.m. at night, so you can have your ryokan dinner and then go out for a bath afterwards. And they open about 7 a.m. in the morning, but I've heard they can be quite busy in the morning before breakfast.
How do you check if they're busy?
Oh, there's a really good page on the Kinosaki Tourist Board website which tells you how busy each of the baths is. It's got a little onsen meter and says if it's like 10% full, 50% full, so you can check if it's too busy before you go, or you could just pick whichever one is the least busy. There's another projection down there on the river. It's really nice. It is really different here at night. It's a lot calmer, and everyone's walking around in their yukata, and you can hear all the clip-clopping from their shoes. We keep going past ryokan and seeing all the shoes and sandals in the entrance because you have to take them off straight away when you go in, which in a way walking around in your socks made it feel a lot more like it's your own house. Every ryokan here rents you yukata. That's part of the service, and I'm really glad that ours had all these colourful ones for women to wear. It was such a good choice. There's definitely a rhythm to the day in Kinosaki. When we arrived, it was bustling with people. Then as soon as it was check-in time, suddenly everyone was wearing yukata, and at night it's really peaceful. This road leading up to the station feels so different from earlier in the daytime. Notice the steam coming out in this alleyway. There are hot spring baths everywhere in Kinosaki. There are places to get food at night that are open late, although if you had a ryokan dinner, you really don't need anything else to eat. This is another one of the bathhouses, Jizo-yu. The design of the building is inspired by a Japanese lantern. It's our next bathhouse stamp at Jizo-yu. It's of the building. Hope this one's a bit more inky. Oh, these ones are not coming out so great here. There's several foot baths with the onsen water around the town that are just free for anyone to use. If you want to use them, it's probably a good idea to bring your own little towel, but there actually aren't any around here. The next morning, we explored more of the town. Apparently this street is really beautiful during cherry blossom season. All these trees are cherry trees. It's a bit too early at the moment in the first week of March, but in a few weeks this is going to be lovely. You can see all the cherry blossoms along the bridge. We actually missed out this street when we were exploring yesterday. It's parallel to the street with our ryokan on it. It's really quiet, although it is still only about 9 in the morning, so I think all the day trip people won't have got here yet. I've come to appreciate these small details more and more in Japan, how it looks so picturesque and well kept, but in a way that isn't too neat or manicured. It's really charming. It's nice and quiet down this street in the morning. The main streets are beautiful, but they have a lot of cars going down them, and this one is nice because it's so quiet and peaceful. Here's one of the bathhouses a bit hidden away, Mandara-yu. Down here next to Mandara-yu there's a mini Inari shrine. See all the fox statues? And that's just next to a car park. Mandara-yu was the first onsen in Kinosaki. It's said that a priest prayed continuously for 1,000 days, and that's what brought forth the healing water of the hot spring. It looks like it isn't open today. This one actually opens at 3 p.m, but many of them are open early from 7 a.m. Here on this sign it tells you which onsen are closed on which days. And you can see they've got quite long opening hours from 7 in the morning until 11 at night, most of them. That's useful. It also tells you the distance between the onsen. 400 meters, 300 meters, 100 meters. Everywhere in Kinosaki is walkable. It's not a very big town. We're at Kounotori, the bath that's furthest from the station, and they've got a stamp. They've actually got 2 big stamps out here. Well, that's the outside bath, and that's the building. It's not the building. What is that? It says Mandara-yu. That's another one of the bathhouses. Why is their stamp here? Did they get their stamps mixed up?
Just friends.
I'm going for my first public bath at Kounotori, which is the bath furthest away from the station. This is supposed to be quite a quiet one, and on the onsen meter it was the one with the fewest people in it. The outside bath looks really nice too, so wish me luck. I was quite nervous about going to a public bath for the first time. While I was in the bath, Phil took a walk around to the edge of town and filmed all this. As many times as I've been to Japan, I'm not really a spa person, so going to an onsen had never been top of my list, so this was my first visit. I only really had time to go to one bathhouse. I like the look of Gosho no Yu and its beautiful large outdoor bath, and Sato no Yu, which has views from its outdoor bath on the 3rd floor. But I picked Kounotori because the outdoor bath also looked nice, and according to the onsen meter on visitkinosaki.com, it was the quietest one, which I think is often the case because it's the furthest away. The waters of Kounotori are said to bring you happiness in your marriage and longevity. It was discovered when a white stork was seen healing its wounds in the natural hot spring. I did it. I did the onsen. I had been a bit nervous about it, so it was like my bravery challenge, but it was actually fine. I'd heard other people saying that it's nothing to worry about and it feels like a completely normal situation, and I had thought, how can that be true? But it is true when you're there. The bath was actually quite similar to the ryokan bath. I went in the inside and the outside one. It was quite similar, but just a bigger version. So the outside one had rocks around it and some plants, and it was really nice to be there in the open air. There were a few other people in there, not that many at this time of day. We just had breakfast, then checked out of our ryokan, so it's still quite early in the morning. Also, I'm looking very red. The water is very hot, but it is nice, and I did manage to get into it without screaming. When you first go in, you scan your onsen pass, and then there's some little lockers where you put your shoes. You take your shoes off when you first go in, then you go through to the changing rooms, and they've got lockers in there, so you get changed or just take your clothes off, and then you go through to the section that's got the indoor bath and the showers around the edge. And I had been thinking it would be really awkward having a shower when there's people in the bath trying to relax, but it's quite noisy in there from the sound of all the water sloshing around and everyone else showering, that it wasn't awkward at all. And then there was a door that went through to the outside bath and that section. It was really nice. So now all my wounds are healed. That's what the onsen water's supposed to do.
What about the towel?
Oh yeah, I didn't have, because we just checked out of the ryokan, I didn't have a towel with me, so I went and got one for 150 yen. It actually wasn't that big at all, but it was okay because you're so hot you dry off quite easily. And then at the end I went to give it back to them because I thought it was a rental towel, and they said no, you can keep it. So now we've got a wet towel in a bag. At bathhouses they have milk vending machines because milk's supposed to be the best thing to cool off after a hot bath. So I've got this one, I think it's either chocolate or coffee flavour. I got Phil a plain milk. So then we continued strolling around the town and checked out some shops. Here's an unusual thing. It's a cake vending machine and everything is gluten-free. That's very unusual. There's some strawberry shortcake, chocolate cake, chiffon cake, cashew nuts, chocolate cookies, rice flour cannelé, and a tote bag, not food. It's from this gluten-free bakery, which is closed at the moment, but you can still get their stuff from the vending machines. We just stopped off at a vinegar shop called KINOSAKI Vinegar that sells drinking vinegar. That's supposed to be a healthy drink. They had some interesting flavours. We bought 2 bottles to take with us because they had mini bottles that are good if you're travelling. So we got the yuzu ginger flavour and lemon and lime flavour. And they also had drinks that you can drink here with the vinegar mixed with fruit juice or water or milk. So I got grapefruit juice mixed with the apple cider vinegar, and Phil got apple juice mixed with black vinegar. Grapefruit juice is quite a sharp, bitter taste anyway, and you can taste the vinegar too. It's actually quite sweet in a way. It's an intense drink. How's yours, Phil?
Yeah, it's really nice. The apple's there, and the black vinegar is supposed to be the most sour of them, and that really comes through. It's a really kind of sweet and then sour aftertaste. I love vinegar. It's delicious.
It's really different, isn't it?
Yeah, very good.
She also gave us these little origami birds as a present. That's really sweet. There's a bank of gachapon here, and they've got food for the koi carp. So we're going to feed them and see them all come swarming.
There you go.
And it looks like there's a chance of seeing a turtle. We haven't seen one yet. Yum yum. They're swarming. Most of these are going to get nothing. Yeah, they are just a tiny bite for them, aren't they? This is one of the mascots of Kinosaki. He's actually printed on the towel I got from the bathhouse. We stayed in Kinosaki for one night. We left Shinosaka just after 10 AM, arriving in Kinosaki just before 1 PM. We spent one night there, then left at 4:30 in the afternoon the next day, arriving in Kyoto just after 7 PM. And I think those times worked out pretty well. I think there's enough to do that you could stay for 2 nights if you want to, and if you can afford it, as ryokan are quite pricey, and especially if you want to visit all 7 public bathhouses. Nearby there are caves at Genbudo Caves, which are just the next station along to the south, and then a boat across the river. You can also rent bikes to go cycling, and there's the seaside at Takeno, which we'll be visiting in a video coming up. There are also activities and traditional crafts you can do. You can book them on the tourist website, visit kinosaki.com. This video isn't sponsored by them, I just found their website so useful with so much helpful information. Next stop is the beach, which is only about 10 minutes away on the train at Takeno. But that's for another video because this one's already way too long. I hope you enjoyed it. I would wholeheartedly recommend Kinosaki. It's such a beautiful place. It's so convenient how everything's walkable, it's got everything you need, and I really don't know how any onsen town could be better. And while it might sound like it's a long train ride away, it really didn't seem long at all. I enjoyed it so much. I can't wait to show you our ryokan in the next video. The whole thing felt like a real treat. If you have any questions, put them in the comments, and I'll see you next time.